Commander Vox Terran of the Galactic Assessment Initiative studied the genetic scan, with all three of his optical lenses widened in shock. His scaled claws drummed uneasily against the lab console. "Run the sequence again," he commanded, voice edged with irritation. "There's no way this is accurate." Chief Geneticist Lyra Knox inclined her head, the pale blue of her skin shimmering with impatience. "I've already processed it 7 times, Commander. The findings are identical. The human females. Genome contains anomalies. Our classifications would deem extreme structural defects, and yet she operates not merely, excels. Vox couldn't reconcile it. "Bring up the combat performance again." Lyra summoned the holographic interface, displaying combat footage of the human female in question. Captain Alexander Reeves commanding her squadron through the Century campaign. The data streaming beside the imagery was without precedent, reflex speed. 78% greater than Marduxian Prime Warrior's pain. Threshold 143% higher than vulgar berserker's cognitive performance under severe pressure operating at efficiency rates beyond our most sophisticated war algorithms, Lyra recited, and all from a species we ranked as barely consequential, less than. 30 cycles past, Vox paced the immaculate lab, his ceremonial insignia chiming faintly against his attire. "The Council will never accept this. They'll claim our instruments are defective." "The instruments are flawless," Lyra retorted. "It's our perception that's defective." She indicated the human's genetic helix revolving slowly above the alien discovery analysis table, focus here and here. "By every recognized galactic metric, these mutations should be disastrous, yet they grant her superiority," Vox murmured, running a claw along his facial ridges in thought. "The real question is, are other humans like her?" "No," Lyra replied with unexpected certainty. "Her unique combination is uncommon, but every human possesses some form of what we would term genetic defects, and their entire lineage arose from random mutation rather than deliberate design. They are genetic accidents, each and every one accidents that are defeating our most elite fighters," Vox noted with a dry lash of his tail. "Hardly encouraging for our strategic outlook, is it?" But the lab doors slid apart and Political Officer Zender Krell entered his ceremonial garb, billowing in ornate folds about his thin frame. Vox stifled a groan. Political meddling was the last thing they required. "I have been observing your findings," Zendar declared without prelude. "The High Council is uneasy, concerned enough to finally grant my petition for direct analysis," Vox asked with a flicker of hope. Zendar's lips curled into what qualified as a smile among the Vrexian people. "Better they have sanctioned your request to retrieve one for study." Vox's head crest lifted in shock. "You've taken a human?" "Not just any human, Zendar," said his tone falling to an almost reverent murmur. "We have Captain Alexander Reeves, herself Captain." Alexander Reeves was enduring an impressively terrible day. First, her dropship had been ambushed upon entry into the Proxima Centauri system. Then she'd been cut off from her unit during the firefight, and now to complete the experience she was confined in what could only be an alien laboratory bound to an exam platform, a solid 2 inches too short for her 5'8" frame, you know. She remarked to the unoccupied room, "A simple greeting would have done. This whole kidnapping shtick is very..." Last millennium, she tested the bindings again. They were some form of energy restraint that constricted with resistance, which she'd learned over 15 agonizing minutes of experimentation. Her skull throbbed, likely from whatever sedative had dropped her. The door parted with a pneumatic sigh, and 3 aliens entered. Alex recognized their species from tactical briefings: Vrexians, something starting with a V, Captain. Alexander Reeves, the tallest figure said in unexpectedly fluent English. "I am Commander Vox Terran of the Galactic Assessment Initiative. This is Chief Geneticist Lyra Knox and Political Officer Zendar Krell." "Delighted," Alex replied with dry humor. "I'd shake hands, but..." She tipped her chin toward the restraints. "Precaution," Vox said. "Your combat abilities are noteworthy." "I'm flattered," Alex answered. But you should know. Earth is aware. I'm missing. They'll be coming for me. The female alien Lyra stepped forward, scanning Alex with a portable instrument. Your genetic composition is remarkable, deeply flawed, yet remarkable. Sorry. Alex blinked. Did you just insult my DNA? Not an insult, Lyra went on apparently. Unaware of human notions like tact and observation by our criteria. You shouldn't even be viable, let alone operational. Your kind carries an extraordinary array of what we would deem genetic defects. Yeah, there I am, Alex replied, breathing conscious and extremely annoyed. The third alien Zendar regarded her with a disquieting focus. Do you know why you were chosen? Captain Reeves, my dazzling personality, my refined taste in music? The fact that I was the only idiot willing to inspect that derelict outpost alone. Vox emitted a sound that might have been a chuckle. You were chosen because you are an outlier among outliers. Heaven for humans, your genome is exceptional. And that's why I'm strapped to this too-small table for a little gene study, partly Vox conceded, but mostly with the DNA analysis. Need to understand how you accomplished what you did on Centauri Prime. Alex went utterly. Still, Centauri Prime had been her first major command, the engagement that built. Her reputation, the classified mission that shouldn't have been on any alien's records. I don't know what you mean, she replied. Cautiously, Zender advanced, projecting a holographic feed between them. It displayed Alex sweeping through the subterranean Centauri complex, neutralizing elite guards with chilling precision. You dispatched 27 Droskan warriors, Zender stated. Alone, without powered armor, without advanced ordnance. Just standard human issue kit, and whatever this is, he indicated her maneuvers on the display. That's called training, Alex said evenly. No, Lyra cut in. No level of training accounts for this, your reflex. Speeds exceed projected human maximums. Your core temperature rose to thresholds that should have caused neural failure. Your pain tolerance defies biology. Look, Alex exhaled. I'm just a soldier doing my work. I'm not exceptional. The data indicates. Otherwise, Vox said. And we must determine if your abilities can be reproduced. An icy weight settled in Alex's gut. You want to weaponize whatever you think? I have the Council seeks options, Zender answered smoothly. Humans have proven, unexpectedly, troublesome. I bet we have? Alex murmured, a small surge of pride briefly piercing her fear. Vox shifted uneasily. Captain Reeves, honor fighters of all kinds, I have no wish to inflict needless harm, but we will perform these tests with or without your consent. Will there be food? Alex asked. I'm hungry. The three aliens traded puzzled looks at her apparent non sequitur. Your dietary requirements will be addressed, Lyra said at last. Excellent, Alex replied. Then here's my offer. Release me, feed me. And I'll tell you precisely what sets humans apart from you, what gives us our advantage, the true secret Vox interrogation. Begin stilted, his head suspicion evident, and why would you so readily betray your kind? Alex smirked. Who said anything about betrayal? I'm offering a lesson clearly. You could use 3 hours. Later, Alex sat in what amounted to an interrogation chamber within the alien complex, her wrists now secured by plain mechanical cuffs instead of energy restraints. Progress, she'd been given something approximating food nutrient cubes, faintly reminiscent of cardboard, steeped in chicken broth, and had drained 3 cups of water. Opposite her was Commander Vox, who had dismissed the others to question her alone. Alex had pegged him as the most rational of the trio, the one most apt to listen, so Vox said. Leaning forward, you claim to grasp what grants humans their battlefield edge, Alex affirmed. But first tell me what you think is defective in my Dina. Vox paused before replying. Your species arose through evolution. Not design. Every starfaring civilization in the galactic concordat underwent at least partial genetic refinement before reaching interstellar capability. Your kind did not. And from our standpoint, that renders you flawed. Your genetic sequence holds redundancies, susceptibilities to illness, structural frailties, yet somehow you endure. Despite it, your individual genome contains even greater aberrations than the human baseline. Alex nodded slowly. Let Me guess higher bone density, atypical neural network formation, heightened adrenal output. Vox's head crest lifted in surprise. You're aware of your irregularities, we call them adaptations, Alex corrected. And yes, I know I was part of a military genetics initiative on Earth, Project Prometheus. They recruited soldiers with naturally occurring genetic traits that could offer combat advantages, so you were engineered. Then Vox said, almost sounding reassured. No, Alex shook her head. We were born. This way the program merely found us and trained. Us random variation natural selection, that's humanity's hidden weapon commander. We are all different, some stronger, some faster, some sharper under stress, but all human, and these differences, they help you fight, Alex leaned in. They help us endure. Humans came up on a death world, Commander. Earth tried to kill us daily for millions of years. Predators, plagues, planetary upheavals, climate swings. We are the progeny of the secret of human rage, the ones who didn't die. Vox looked genuinely fascinated now, but surely engineering would produce superior results to this random process. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Alex smiled. But here's the thing about engineering. You optimize for what you think is important. You eliminate what you believe are flaws. But sometimes what looks like a flaw is actually an advantage you haven't recognized yet. Explained. Vox demanded, take pain. Alex said, your geneticist seemed shocked by my pain tolerance, but pain is information, Commander. That made Alex was Vox move toward the door, then hesitated. If what you say is true about human anger, he began. Alex finished. His thought, you really don't want to make more of us angry, especially not the ones coming for me. Who are they? Prometheus. Operatives, Alex said. People like me, but worse, Commander. You have a choice. Release me now, and I will tell them not to tear this place apart. Keep me here. And well, you have seen what one angry human can do. Vox stood, frozen in indecision, caught between his duty and the growing realization that he might have severely underestimated the threat humanity posed outside. Something exploded. The lights flickered, and Alex Reeves smiled, her flawed, perfect human DNA singing with anticipation. The explosion rocked the entire research facility, causing dust to rain from the ceiling panels. Commander Vox Terran's tertiary heart began pumping frantically, as emergency klaxons wailed throughout the complex. Your people are efficient. He admitted, mandibles clicking nervously. You have no idea, Alex replied, rattling her restraints pointedly, clocks ticking. Commander, what's it going to be? Another explosion closer. This time the lights flickered ominously. Vox reached a decision. Political officer, Krell would have me executed for this. But I prefer being alive to being right. He pressed his scaled palm against the security panel, and Alex's restraints clicked open. Smart choice, she said, rubbing her wrists as she stood. Now how do I contact them? Central communications is 3 levels up, Vox said, drawing his sidearm and handing it to her grip first. But we will need to hurry. Security protocols will have sealed most. Direct routes, Alex checked the alien weapon, surprisingly similar to human designs, despite its exotic energy source lead. The way, Commander, and don't worry, I won't shoot you unless you give me a reason. How comforting, Vox muttered. They exited the interrogation room into chaos. Emergency lighting bathed the corridors in pulsing amber and panicked research. Staff rushed in all directions. Nobody paid attention to the human following. A senior officer, they were busy saving themselves. Your facility's defenses are impressive, Alex noted as they hurried through the corridors. How'd my team find you so quickly? Vox's head crest flattened in embarrassment. We may have underestimated human tracking technology, and your combat suit contained quantum entangled particles. We political officer Krell's plan didn't pick up during initial scans. Ah, Alex smirked. Project Breadcrumb still in prototype, technically clearly effective. Vox replied dryly. They rounded a bend and nearly ran into Chief Geneticist Lyra. Clutching data cores against her chest, Commander, she exclaimed, What are you doing? The specimen should be restrained, the specimen. Alex said sharply, Has a name and a weapon. She lifted the gun for emphasis. Lyra's third eye widened in shock. Have you? Gone insane, Commander. The Council isn't present? Vox cut in, and if we fail to de-escalate this right now, none of us will be making reports to them. He faced Alex. How many operatives in your recovery unit? Classified? Alex answered. By reflex, then noting his look, she added, fine, likely 4 standard Prometheus extraction protocol. 4, Lyra repeated in disbelief. 4, humans are causing all this destruction. Another explosion punctuated her question. This one powerful enough to make the floor vibrate beneath their feet. 4 very motivated humans, Alex corrected, and with very specialized skills, Vox checked a holographic display on his wrist. They have already breached 2 primary security barriers. At this rate they will reach the core in minutes. The core, Alex asked, they the facility's power source. Lyra explained reluctantly, if damaged, the resulting explosion would vaporize everything within 12 kilometers. That seems like a design flaw. Alex observed. We didn't anticipate needing to defend against an internal attack, Vox admitted. Vox nodded grimly. This way. They fought their way upward through the facility, encountering pockets of resistance from security forces who hadn't received the memo about cooperation. Alex moved with lethal precision, disabling rather than killing when possible, but showing no hesitation when necessary. Vox watched her fighting style with professional interest. It was unlike anything taught in Galactic Concord at Military Academe, adaptive, almost improvisational. She used the environment, her opponent's strengths, even her own limitations as weapons. Rescue operation, your combat methodology is unorthodox, he commented after she dispatched 3 guards using a combination of the alien sidearm hand-to-hand techniques and a conveniently placed fire suppression canister. That's kind of our whole thing, Alex replied, barely winded. Adaptability. They reached a security door marked with glyphs that even Alex's translation implant couldn't decipher. Communication center. Vox explained, placing his palm against the scanner, highly restricted. The door slid open to reveal a large circular room filled with holographic displays and communication equipment. Political officer Zendar Krell stood at the central console, surrounded by armed guards. I suspected you might turn traitor, Commander, Krell said coldly. Though I admit I expected it would take more than a few explosions to break you. This isn't about loyalty. Krell. Vox replied. It's about survival. The humans just want their officer back. Give her access to communications. And this ends peacefully. Krell's lipless mouth stretched into what might have been a smile. Peace was never the objective, Commander. Study was, and what better opportunity to study human combat capabilities than this very attack? Understanding dawned on Alex's face. You wanted this to happen. You have been monitoring my team since they arrived. Of course, Krell nodded. Though you must admit their efficiency exceeds even our most optimistic projections. 4 operatives. 17 dead security personnel, 42 injured. Truly remarkable. You sacrificed your own people. Vox's voice was thick with disgust. Necessary cost of research. Krell shrugged. The Council requires data. On human combat capabilities, now we have it. Not all of it, Alex said, quietly, something in her tone made both aliens turn to her. Her posture had changed, subtly becoming more balanced, more centered. You have seen what Prometheus operatives can do when they are focused on a mission. She continued, her voice eerily calm. But you haven't seen what happens when we get really angry. Krell laughed. Your primitive emotions don't concern me, human. They should, Alex replied, because right now my team is fighting with discipline and restraint. They are trying to minimize casualties, escape from the facility. But if they find me dead, or if they think I have been harmed... She left the sentence hanging. Vox felt a cold dread settling in his stomach. Exactly, Alex agreed. It's biochemistry. It's in our DNA. Those flaws you keep talking about, the parts you engineered out of yourselves because they seemed primitive and useless. She took a step forward, but here's what you don't. Understand, Krell, those primitive responses kept us alive when everything on our planet was trying to kill us. They made us fight harder, think faster, refuse to give up when any rational species would have surrendered. Guards, Krell ordered, restrain the specimen. None of the guards moved, they were all watching. Alex with growing unease. I need 2 minutes on your communication system. Alex said. That's it. Then my team leaves with me and nobody else gets hurt. The facility shook with the most violent explosion, yet emergency lights shifted from amber to blood. Red, that Alex said, calmly, was probably the secondary reactor. The primary core is next. So what's it going to be, political officer pride or survival major? Talia Winters slapped a fresh power cell into her pulse rifle as she moved through the alien. Facility's winding corridors behind her, Lieutenants Jackson Park and Dimitri formed a tight defensive formation covering all angles. Life signs, Talia demanded strong and steady. Jackson confirmed signs of distress. Talia allowed herself a small breath. Of relief, finding Captain Reeves alive and unharmed had been the primary objective. The secondary objective, making the aliens regret ever touching a human soldier, was progressing nicely. Her community crackled suddenly, and a familiar voice filled her earpiece. This is Captain Alexander Reeves, calling Prometheus Extraction Team. Respond immediately. Authorization code, Sierra Tango 479. TIA stopped in her tracks. Captain, this is Major Winters' status report. Talia frowned. Negative. Captain, standing extraction. Protocols require override. Alex cut in code, Epsilon Blue Horizon, trust me on this one. The use of her nickname convinced Talia more than the override code understood. Dimitri, abort. The core charges, the Russian nodded, already working on his tactical. Pad Captain. Talia continued. We are 5 minutes from your position. Hold tight. Hey, actually, Alex replied, and Talia could hear the smile in her voice. I think I will meet you halfway. Situation, she asked Talia. Perimeter secure, extraction vehicle prepped. And waiting, we have got a clear path to the landing bay. Alex nodded, then gestured to Commander Vox, who stood awkwardly behind her. This is Commander Terran, he's coming with us. Talia's eyebrows shot Journey to Earth up. That wasn't in the mission. Parameters. Chief Geneticist Knox, Alex explained, also coming along. She's the one who analyzed my DNA. What did you do with him? Jackson asked. Alex's smile was not entirely pleasant. Let's just say he's getting some first-hand experience with human ingenuity involving maintenance. Closets and improvised restraints. On the 6th day, Alex found Vox in the observation deck, staring out at the streaking stars as the ship hurtled through space. What exactly was he planning? Vox's head crest, flattened against his skull, the Concordat, has been developing bioweapons tailored to human genetic markers. Krell was using your DNA to refine them. I figured it was something like that. Alex sighed. The good news with your